Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Brownstone. I'm Paulette, and you are in the Brownstone Worldwide Studios. This is the Lunch and Learn Hour. We're talking today about Brownstone's best business reviews. We are enamored with our current guest today. We're just going to talk briefly about this wonderful individual and who he is. We're super excited to have actor DaJuan Johnson in the Brownstone today. Listen, you guys have seen him. You know you have. You remember Detective Pierce from Bosch? I'm sure you have. Wait a minute. What about Grey's Anatomy? Oh, there's more. Brooklyn 99, Bones, The Asset. Let's talk about some movies as well. Caged Animal and My Life with Boys, which he actually directed, guys. Listen, we're talking about theater. We're talking about Daytime Emmy nominee and ABC Talent Showcase participant DaJuan Johnson that is coming to the Brownstone. Without further ado, let's go ahead and bring up DaJuan Johnson to the Brownstone. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Paulette. Is there any way that I could have you follow me around and introduce me as I walk into rooms? I know that's weird, but I'm just gonna
We'll just say put the request out there.
put the request out there, see what happens.
Yeah, I love this. I love this for us that you're here today. And thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come and hang out with us. First of all, I'm going to be honest. Mm-hmm. I have not heard of Bosch until you and I met. Really? So we're actually friends, y'all. Okay. Yeah. So I hadn't heard of Bosch, but when I did, I went back and I watched all 7 series. It was that good. It's that good, guys. And so I had an opportunity to see you in your element, and I got an opportunity to see you change through that. But that's not the only thing that you've done. That's where I think people remember you. I'm going to say mostly. Mm-hmm. And so we've had conversations about that where you've been out and you'll hear somebody yell out, "Detective." So let's talk about that. How did you end up on such an amazing long running show like that? And what was that experience like for you in the beginning?
I think when in the very beginning, you don't know that it's going to run that long, especially with the landscape of television right now. A lot of shows don't get past the second season, honestly, maybe even the first. And so, it's a real funny story because first of all, you got to see Baby DaJuan. If you started, that was a decade ago. You really got to see Baby DaJuan and my growth over that series. I went in there for one day of work. When you saw that pilot, I went in there for one day of work, and I didn't know if I were going to come back. I didn't know what was going to happen. But what happened was my work was so great that I'm not tooting my own horn.
It's okay to do that.
But the producers and the directors had said, "It was such a pleasure cutting your footage. We'll see you soon." And so I grew into that. I was there for 1, and then all of a sudden I was there for 6 episodes that first season. And they just upped me, and I kept coming back. And then you knew when people started stopping you on the streets and saying, "Are you, Officer Pierce, or are you Detective Pierce?" At that time, you knew you were on something great. It's very humbling. It's very interesting because I'm going to be honest, I prayed for these moments of that level in my career that somebody would appreciate my work, like I do. And so being on it it's been a dream. It's been a dream. And going on to do the spinoffs has been a dream.
Okay.
Wait, you don't know about the spinoffs?
Yeah, well, actually, I do. So,
you're in it. You're in it. Yeah.
Yes, I'm invested, and it's over with. I close the door. The kids don't bother me because I wanted to really get into it. And so I was kind of sad when Bosch ended, even though we know that I did an entire, I think over a weekend, I watched everything, right? Yeah. Sometimes I was cooking and watching it, or I was, doing laundry and listening in and so forth, but I got it in. And so as a viewer, the disappointment is the season was over, or seasons were over, and I could go back and watch them again. What's it like for you knowing that it ends, even though life does that, right? So what are those plans after that? Do you ever think about
Yeah,
that?
I think one of the things about me is I try to be in the moment as much as possible. Because I think one of the things that we do is we miss beautiful moments because we're always thinking about future. Like when this ends, what am I going to do? What's going to happen?
Mhm.
And I know that is a response that people have. Well, when this is over, I should have something planned. Um, I'll have to say, and again, what I think everybody will start to know about me is I'm very honest.
Yeah.
When that ended, I actually went through a major depression. You know what I mean? I went
Mhm.
through a major depression because of that was my identity for 7 years. That
Yeah.
was how people knew me for 7 years. And I still, to this day, get people stopping me on the street, in the grocery store, in different states when I'm there, like
Yeah.
walking up. It doesn't matter. And so what I had to do was take a little bit of time for
Mhm.
myself to grieve that that character, to
Wow.
really just grieve that moment because I
Mhm.
didn't get to see the same family anymore. The people I
Mm.
sat with for
Mhm.
7+ years.
Mhm.
I didn't get to see
Mhm.
that and really just say thank you and be in grace that I got to do that role. And I just had to stop for a second because again, we go, 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 go.
Mhm.
Right? We don't take that moment. And I did. So when that was over, I stopped and I was like, thank you. Thank you so much for that. And I always say a little prayer that
Mhm.
all the time. And it goes just like this. It goes, thank you. More, please.
Wow. So how's that working out with that prayer?
Well, listen, here's what I'll say. As soon as I really released that, really grieved that, really went through all of that, Bosch called me back to do the spinoff.
I love it.
And then I went to NCS Hawaii, and then I
Yeah.
went to NCIS regular. So I went and did a little bit of work outside
Mhm.
after the life of Bosch. But
Okay.
sometimes you got to bless and release.
Right.
We hold on so tight to
Blessing.
these moments. We're like, oh, this is the only moment I'm gonna have, and
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
not. It's not it. It's not
Mhm.
it.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful for Bosch, and if Bosch is reading this right now, any of them, you can call me anytime now.
Anytime. Anytime. I'm ready to come back. Yeah. And so here's something else too. First of all, you're an amazing actor. And I don't say that lightly because I've seen some stuff out there. So let's rewind a little bit and let's start with how DaJuan Johnson ended up as a performer. Because I'm going to stop saying acting because I got called out of no, I'm not an actor. I'm a performer. There is a difference. I have a myriad of different, right? So how did you end up in this space anyway? Was this something that you dreamt of or it just kind of fell in your lap?
Well, I don't want to, being black isn't a monolith, so I don't want to say take this lightly what I'm about to say, but this wasn't a chosen path, meaning what my mom saw me doing. Like I was supposed to be a lawyer or a doctor. Black people didn't really go into acting where I come from.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so my mom was like, you want to act? All right, act your way to law school. And I was
Okay. Yeah.
like, but I kind of snuck away in college and ended up, taking classes that, got
Mhm.
me into acting. But
Mhm.
like if I could take like about 10 years before that, I would say that I've always been a performer. And if my mom, which I've had her on my own podcast, she would say I was causing a scene when I was very young. I love to perform. I love to do it. I've been, in The Wizard of Oz was my first play when I was
Okay.
in seventh grade. And then I
Mhm.
went on for I really just enjoyed it
Mhm.
so much. But again, there was just no direct path to the arts
Mhm. Mhm.
for a black man. It just
I
wasn't.
see.
And
I
it
see.
just wasn't. And, once my mom saw that I was really serious and then she wasn't paying for it anymore, she was like, go do you. Go do you.
Right. Right. Made a difference, right? Okay. Okay.
I just loved it. I think the idea of look, I never dreamt of being a rocket scientist. I
Mhm.
didn't think that I was going to cure cancer.
Mhm.
My mind, that wasn't it. But I knew that my doctor, my rocket scientist, was acting. And I
Yeah.
can shift minds through storytelling. I
Mhm.
could shift
Mhm.
hearts through, my performance. That's what
Yeah.
I love to do.
Yeah.
I can make
Okay.
people laugh with that stuff. So I've always wanted to do that, you
Mhm.
know? I
Mhm.
do that. And I don't know if this is PC. It's okay to liking to, but I really related to Will Smith. Like
Wow.
a lot of the stuff that Will Smith, when he was in his book and what he was talking about, really rings true to me about like trauma responses and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Why we
Yeah.
did it. So
Right.
yeah.
Right. Oh, I love that. I love it. And so you ended up out there and worked. And so were you taking those odds and end jobs? Because I hear the stories, right? And I too am from entertainment, just on the other side, on the audio side.
Ooh, maybe I'm
Right.
gonna get you to sing today. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe you'll get me to do a jingle or something.
Right. We'll do a jingle together.
Come
Yes.
on.
If we can get you to redo that scene from Grey's Anatomy, you got
We'll talk.
There you go. All right. So I've heard the stories. I know what I've done in the past. I've waited the tables while I was, in between gigs, or, not traveling and singing and performing and producing and all of that, and taking calls. Thank you for calling so and so and so, blah, 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 and doing radio commercials, anything in between. So as a performer and getting into the industry, I never hear that it was just like a one set flush and then boom, I was in. Those are very, very rare. So how did you balance out living your life, doing the things, and focusing on your craft to get to where you are now?
It's a great question. I wish I had an answer for you. I just like stepped into LA and I was famous. So
Yeah. Only the one.
Next question.
Next question. Okay.
But, the real thing there is and I'm very honest, very vocal and upfront about this, is that I waited tables for 15 years. I was a bartender in the entertainment industry. In the restaurant industry for 15 years, and in one place, and I had felt like I had served America. At that place. All of America had come through that one bar in 15 years.
Yeah.
And, but that was my job for that. And I did all the other things, to make it, I call it my investment jobs, because they invested in my career.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. I did that. And it was just because I was raised to always keep something just in case, right? Just in case. So, I did that. But one of the things that I realized while I was there one day is that if I keep telling the universe that I have a just in case job, that is exactly what the universe is going to give me. And the universe kept meeting me, and I always made my bills, and I always had something when things were low, just in case. But what I didn't have is that faith, that belief, that trust that I was going to make it. I was going to do it. And so I had all of that stuff. And then one day I thought to myself, because everything you hear around you is don't get something until, don't buy your house until, don't have until. Yes. And I was like, what is until? What if I never make it? What if these things never happen? What if I never make that? And so I just shifted my mindset one time. And I was thinking, I'm going to quit this job. I'm going to set a date and I'm going to quit this job. And I remember it clearly because I was scared. And I remember you say, do it scared. And I said it on my birthday. I think it was 2013, May 6th of 2013. I'm going to be done with this. In January, I'm going to give my notice. I had a plan. Right. And I put it into action. Because one of the things that nobody talks about is when you're at these places, these jobs, there's so much negative energy there.
It is.
It's so much that are keeping you at bay. And I was like, you have to see more for yourself. Yeah. And I saw more for myself and I quit. And let me tell you, I quit. I'll never forget it. I remember being there saying, going up to customers and they're like, hey, is that you on the screen? I had a commercial running. I was making 6 figures and stuff. 6 figures already. And I kept that job. Why? Just in case.
Wow.
And I remember, and I was like, yeah, that is me. Do you want fries with that?
Wow.
That's the way it went.
And so you were living in two realities at the same time, and you finally just said, and see that. And so I'm gonna go here from a perspective because see you.
I thought we were kicking it.
We're hanging out, right? So listen, you brought up an excellent point, right? So like one of the things that I really like to discuss when we're talking about this kind of thing in metaphysics, is one of the things that we do often is, just like you said, the just in case. We're going to hold on to this just in case. But what we're doing is because there are so many multiple infinite possibilities and probabilities for us, we continue to straddle that fence and get stuck because we keep looking back yesterday, when that right now experience, we're also walking in that as well. And we can not really, because like it's honestly like straddling a fence. That kind of, it's uncomfortable, right? You're going to keep tripping and falling, but which side are you going to fall on is the question. And so what I'm hearing you say is you finally just said, I'm going to choose that reality and I'm going to live in that.
Well, the way I like to say it is, you can't be the middleman while you're trying to get to your next level.
Come on.
And so what we're doing there is we got that one hand in that back door and we're trying to get to this, and you cannot be in the middle. Look at this. This is the way it looks. You're trying to get to your next level, but you are holding on to those $5. You know what I mean? You're holding tight to those $5. And so I just said it and I just quit. I remember it. And I remember like, I'm going to do this. And I bought a house too. Yeah. I did it. I was like, you buying a house in LA and everybody tells you not to. But I was like, but what if I decide to think, what if the universe, God, whatever you believe in, what if you are waiting for me to believe in myself more?
Ooh. Oh.
And I have never looked back. I did it scared, but I've never looked back when I got this. And I'm on my second house now. You know what I mean? Not the fan.
The fan.
The fan. But you have to think about it sometimes. Everybody who's telling you this stuff, everybody who's giving you this advice sometimes are a little bit working from their fears as well.
Yeah.
And so I just really believed in myself. I was like, I'm gonna have kids. I'm going to buy this house. We're gonna do this because what if I keep waiting and it never happens?
It never happens.
So we did. And like I said, 7 seasons later on a show, you know what I mean? And I keep working and I keep working. And I don't think that's by accident. I don't think that's by accident.
No, it's not.
You just believe in yourself. So I'm always this up. Like I said, I went through a major depression too after all that stuff. So this is the balance of it all. I try to.
But this is amazing, and I appreciate you sharing that with us, because somebody out there, including me, needs to hear that on a regular basis, because doing what we do, right? Because at the end of the day, you're self-employed. You are, the CEO of your life and your business and your family and so forth. And so when we are constantly creating and in this creative process, because we always are, the thing is that we need sometimes those reminders like what you're talking about right now. So I know someone is going to definitely take from this and move, because I am. So you preach today. So let's go ahead and pass the collection plate, right? and open up the doors of the church, listen, and go out and have fries. But yeah, so that's, such a good place to be in. And I love how you think like that and you walk in that, but it can't be easy.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm going down the rabbit hole, knowing that it can't be easy. And you're doing it afraid. And sometimes you bump your head, right? And there's that going with the flow. You hear that a lot, go with the flow. And so when you're going with the flow and you wake up one morning and you get a call from your union rep that you guys are going on strike. What was going through your head?
I want to be very clear that I thought we should have gone on strike 4 years before that.
Wow.
I was, very clear that in season 4 of Bosch, that the residuals that we were getting from streaming needed to change. I knew that because I was working. I knew that because we talk about buying a house and nobody wants to cry for the guy who's on TV, right?
Right, exactly.
But here's the thing about that statement, and I get it, is that when you understand that the pie is so much bigger than the sliver that you're getting off of your back, then you start to understand that we should be getting more. And I can't explain this to everybody, right? Yeah. But I can fight for, the union here. And what we should have been doing is we should have struck 4 years before that. We did not, because we were getting ready to go into a pandemic.
Right? I see.
but we should have started to have this conversation beforehand. So when I
Mm-hmm.
got that call, I was really excited because I, again, I've been working these contracts, and I
Mm-hmm.
understand we pulled the wool back, and you got to see, sure, somebody's like, oh, you're making 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 up an episode.
Mm-hmm.
But then people are breaking that down and say, you're looking at this way. This is what we really take home. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want a bigger piece of the pie. If somebody else is making $1 billion off of something,
Right.
if I can go to, here it is. If I can go to the other 49, 50 states in America, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
I can go there and people can recognize me, but I can't pay my bills. That's a problem.
That's a problem. You're absolutely correct.
If I can go overseas and somebody can say, I've seen your work in Germany, I've seen your work in different places, Ireland, I can see your work there, but I can't pay my bills. That's a problem.
That's a problem.
So I'm not gonna lie to you. I am for, and I was for the strike. Now, let's get real. Let's pull the mic a little closer for this one.
Yes, let's do that.
I didn't expect it to go on so long.
Right. Absolutely.
I didn't expect to be out of work for, we were on strike for 7 months. The de facto strike started 2-3 months before that. So our whole 2023 was basically, a wash for a lot of us. That was hard. It was hard mentally.
Yeah.
It was hard physically, emotionally, mentally, because now you're thinking, who am I again?
Right.
And I was like, damn, I just went through this because you can't be working on your goals. I'm like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
What do we do with this?
Right. Right. And I think hearing this, and thank you for sharing, one of the things that I think I saw a lot of were you all out there with your picket signs and expressing those concerns, even with something that a lot of industries are really starting to use, and that's artificial intelligence. So now we're talking about them wanting, whoever them is, but we're going to say that, wanting to use your image and your likeness even after
you're dead.
Right. And so it's kind of like, how do you expect me? This is my face. You still want to get paid off of my beautiful brown bean footage? Are you serious? So I cannot fathom any organization, any company thinking that is okay. And
also, can you fathom money?
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. They're not, it becomes less of a, like, we're talking about it from an emotional, personal thing, right? Yeah. They're talking about it as when we're going through a strike where they think it cost the California economy $10 billion, where the head of Netflix bought half of a ski resort during our strike.
Wow.
So, so as you finish that sentence, you can't fathom. It's like, the people are making millions of dollars, and they're like, well, you should have went and be something else. The acting maybe isn't your thing. And it's like, you should have been a CEO or something like that.
Right.
Not, from my perspective, and it's very limited, everybody. It's very, very, very limited. It's very limited. We can't say I can't fathom that because they're not thinking about that.
They're not.
Yeah.
It's all about the money. It is. And it's not about you as the individual. And so I've seen so many folks out here now, people of color specifically, indicating that they're not making, and they weren't able to pay. I saw Billy Porter saying that, one young lady from The Pink or whatever that movie was, the thing on Showtime was called. God, I feel so bad. She actually went online and showed her royalty check.
Oh, Orange is the New Black?
Well, the young lady, she's one of the dancers on a show that's on Showtime. And I'm embarrassed, but I think it is called The Pink.
Okay.
And she was showing her royalty check, her actual, like, hey, here's your residuals right here. And she was like, you all think that we're out here getting rich. Here's my residual. And I think it was like 37 cents. It was insane. And so do you attribute that to the streaming issue that's currently going on? Because like the same thing is happening. I'm going to give you an example. So I get royalty checks from my time in the entertainment industry.
When you were singing?
When I was singing full time.
Mm-hmm.
DaJuan.
Y'all, I'm gonna get her to sing before this is over.
Let me just
get her to sing. Just keep warming it up. Me.
So when I was singing full time, of course, and the projects that I were on and so forth, that I was on and so forth, royalty checks used to look really good, and they were more frequent, right? So if I was in between work, I could balance those funds out. Not now. So like, you know, I'll be lucky if I'll get 2 per year. Yeah. You used to get them quarterly, and way back in the day, you got them even if they aired you again and again and again on a television show like Soul Train or whatever, you got a check for that. Not anymore. And so now you have like iTunes and all of these others that are taking these big chunks. You got Spotify, like 0.00017 cents every time you play my song.
Yeah.
That's insane.
How are you guys making it?
How are you all making it? And I'm learning that so many of us are having to find, you know, those multiple streams of income. So I'm bringing that up because is that something that you have had to do? Knowing that you've had this career, right? And knowing that, you know, you've purchased your home and you had all of those things, were you as impacted as others? And even if you were not, you weren't bringing in, you know, funds on a regular basis. And then of course, those residuals, now that we've discussed it, folks, now you know, most people aren't getting those big checks like they say. What was that like?
Yeah, it's very interesting. The world that we live in, that we are not extremely happy for those individuals that make more money than us, right? That, you know, I was just talking about that. And I think it's really hard for people to feel bad about residuals because they don't fully understand this residual money coming in. Right. But again, we're talking about, so let's just use a round number of $10,000. If you're making $10,000 in the medium income in the States is $26,000 or $30,000, like you're already made a third of what they're making. So they're like, you're going to get residuals on that. Then it doesn't make sense. So, but I just want to explain to everybody that people are making residuals off of us. Like Friends ended 20 or 30 years ago and Friends is still on. Living Single ended a little bit like 20, 30 years ago and it's still on. It's still on. And they're still getting residuals from that. So I just wanted to take a second to just explain that part.
Yeah.
One of the things I did when I was in my first season of Bosch, I was meditating and I had really gone hard to get this role and I got it. And I realized I was like, there's still something missing from me. And so I meditated and I asked and I said, what else is possible? Use me. That was my prayer. That was my meditation. And it came up. I've always liked working with people. So what I started to do is I started getting a lot of people asking me, how did you make it, DaJuan? Can I take you to lunch? Can I take you to coffee? And there is just no possible way to do all of that. And so what I did was I created a company. I created a business called Think Bigger Coaching. And that became my investment job. And it also became where I could pour my heart and soul and I could do this. I could talk to other actors. And what I really like to say is I like to send the elevator back down. So anything that I have done to book a job or to meet a director or meet a showrunner or meet a person, I do not believe it is only for me. I believe that it has been put in my life so that I can also help somebody else get to their next place. And so I created that. And so when things are shaky or rough or anything like that in the industry, I still have my coaching business that I created for actors, you know, and because I believe more than anything, and I think the strike highlighted this. We must diversify our income.
Period. Absolutely. I 100% agree with you. And you've done so. And Think Bigger Coaching, helps actors do what?
Well, I help actors, book their first or their next big job. That's basically it, right? I'm going to coach you. I'm going to support you in booking. You want to get on set. That's what we're here to help you get on set. It's a dedicated to that, but also more than that, it's also about like mindset. I know people don't, like to talk too much about it, but a lot of what we do is stamina, staying in this is mindset.
Mindset. Absolutely. Even in the lean times, right?
Even in the lean times.
Because it's been lean, especially, for those of us who are still receiving those residuals, and you're looking at them like, I can't leave this for my grandkids. Right. So yeah, but that's good stuff. So Think Bigger Coaching is your, we're not going to call it your side hustle, but your other stream. And that's a good thing. Because you do help.
It keeps me from spinning too.
Yeah.
Right? Is my mic working well? It's good.
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah.
It keeps me from also spinning. And so when the industry that I have chosen is a little bit volatile, and it is up and down in music and art, it's just up and down to anything. It also gives me some place to creatively put myself in to serve more. And so it's really, really great for that. Yeah.
Okay. Very good. And that's really awesome to hear. And so we're really excited, first of all, because let's talk about this. You're on the cover of Brownstone Living magazine for the month of February. So we're going to let you have your acceptance speech for that. How you feel about that? Because this is huge for us, right? Let's talk about that.
Like the great Niecy Nash said, I'd like to thank me. Yes. It's really huge. That was a beautiful speech because I don't think anybody knows how much yourself or any other artist, what we sacrifice, or anybody, what you sacrifice. But when you stick to it and you're like, I believe in myself. And so to be here is such an honor to be on the cover of this. And I express to you, this is my first big cover. I've been on a cover before, but I've been featured in the back. But to be on this means the world to me. And to be on it, can I say this? I'm going to say it. You can edit it, but I'm going to say this. Just to be on the cover of our people, the people that look like us first is amazing. To be in a space where I have always been so supported by Black women. You know what I mean? That's like a backbone. But to be on it, so other Black women are seeing and supporting other Black men and kids and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
I'm just giddy. I'm just giddy about that. You know what I mean?
Right. I love that. And I'm going to say, I really appreciate you for taking the time to come and hang out with us today. We could go on and on, but what I want to make sure that we do, for the grace of your time and for the Brownstones, I want to make sure that we let people know where to find you. And that's on Instagram at DaJuan Johnson. That's where they can find you. Number one, follow all of the fabulous things that you have going on. And of course, follow you at DaJuanJohnson.com and get your litany list of all the things that you've done and going to be doing and where you are and so forth. So let's talk about that. What's coming up for DaJuan Johnson? Wait,
you forgot to say turn on your TV. That's where you can also find me.
On your TV, let's find DaJuan Johnson all over the place.
Suits, Grey's Anatomy, and all that good stuff.
Grey's Anatomy, yes. Let's talk about that.
Real quick though, I want to make sure I said something in that intro. I did an Emmy. They did an Emmy campaign that was backed by ABC, right? Okay. I wasn't a nominee. I don't want anybody coming for me. We're in the age you're coming for us, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Still in itself an honor. That was such a great role to be able to really do Grey's Anatomy. And I went into that and I thought, I want to show a different side of Black men. We always have to show hard and we have to show these, I wanted to show we get emotional when our wives, our kids, when things are, I wanted to show that. So there is snot, there is tears. I'm hopeful. I get crushed. All of that happens in there. All that happens in there. And I want to make sure that I showed that side because I felt like, you know what, we can be hard or everybody else can do something else. I want to do this. So, that being said,
you know what? So now, wait a minute.
I opened the wrong door, y'all. I opened the wrong door.
You did. So in that, when you're in that moment and you're in front of all of these folks. First of all, how many people? So like when we shoot something here called the Sunday brunch. We have a team of like 4 and our cameras and lighting and so forth. And I'm able to, present because I know these people, been working with them. Right. And, but when you're in that mode, like when I saw the episode on Grey's Anatomy where you lost it and I'm crying with you, right? Like my throat is, how you get that lock right here and it's like, I'm going to cry, and I bawled with you. What is that like doing that in front of people who may not know you? Do you just like zone out? Do you just like...
You zone out. You understand that this is a job, like a doctor has to do a job, or, and again, I'm not equating myself to a doctor at all, anybody, but like whatever job you have to do, you got to get in the zone, because what people don't see is there literally is 40 people right on the other side of this camera, right? Or this space. There's somebody holding a boom mic. There's somebody, doing lights. It's a whole production. And that specific scene, there was about 10 other actors in the room with me.
Wow. Yeah.
Right? Remember we're around that hospital bed?
Yeah.
So they're all there as I'm doing this as well. So you must be prepared. You must just do it. And, this is me nerding out, but I also, who directed that episode was Debbie Allen. And so, it takes it to a whole nother level. So when Debbie Allen is there, and Debbie Allen had said to me, I had to do those scenes so many times.
Yeah.
So you don't get to not cry or not get to not take it. And I said, Debbie Allen said to me in one of those takes, she's like, DaJuan, we need a little bit more emotion, a little bit more tears. And I was like, cool, great, bet. I wasn't going to say, well, Debbie, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
I was like, Debbie, I want fame. I'm here to work.
And right here is where I'm going to start paying.
Right here. I was like, I want it. And so
I love it.
And I went and did it. But it's a little bit more pressure. I think the job there is not to have tears. The job there is to show the humanity between this couple here that is watching. This man is watching his wife die, or is watching his wife have her last moments. That is the reality. And if you stop and you take a breath, I can put myself back into that space. Yeah. I can hear the beep of the hospital thing, beep, the thing, the accordion going up and down when she's breathing. Yeah. And I can just like go into it. She had a trachea thing. And you just start to focus on all of that stuff. And all of a sudden, nothing else matters. Nothing else matters but what we are doing here. And that is what we do as actors. We don't have time. We're not reading scripts and doing that. I am just locking in, because when you do stuff like that, then you get on Twitter once it airs and people say, I love how you captured that moment between that. It reminds me of when I was in the hospital with my dad, or it reminds me of, that love is really true. And so that's how I know I did my job.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so
absolutely. That's really, really good. And you become a different person. So to have these conversations, and when we've, walked to Chick-fil-A or, kind of hung out and you want fries, I'm going to get fries, right? Or we're just having those moments where we're at a bar and we're just like,
I don't need fries.
He doesn't eat fries, y'all. He don't eat fries. I eat the fries. Can you tell I eat the fries? Yes, I eat the fries. So when we are hanging out and we're doing those things, and then I see your work, that shows me how into what you do is important for you, because I am seeing Detective Pierce. I am seeing the husband and the wife having, their last moments together. I'm seeing those. And damn, you're good. You're good.
Thank you.
So bravo to you.
Yeah.
So
I don't see myself as that actor, right? When we're kicking it, when we're with friends and stuff, and we're with people, I think that's the misconception of the old actor, old day. That day is gone. Like, and I just kick it with people, and I have to be aware of that. Sometimes you've never made me feel uncomfortable. I want to say that, or anybody around me, but sometimes it just shifts for people. It shouldn't shift. Like, I've been on the floor with you. I've been sitting, we've been in the trenches, and that's okay. I just really try to lead with my heart. That's it. That's all I try to do.
And you are amazing at that. That's what I love about you. Now, I've met some folks, honey, and I'm like, do you realize your pants get put on the same way that mine do? Like, yeah, you know, I mean, but I guess
when I work with Viola Davis, y'all can't tell me nothing after that. Okay. I'm gonna act up. I'm gonna act a fool when you see me after I work with Viola and you like, DaJuan, I'm gonna keep walking and then I'm gonna be like, I don't know.
And you know what I'm gonna do?
Oh God, you got receipts? Never mind. Let's cut this off. Interview's over, y'all.
Right. I'll be like, what do you think you're doing? Yes. But and I love it. So what is coming for you next?
You know, right now, we just got out of the strike. And so to be completely honest, we're trying to figure out what the industry is doing, what's going to be happening right there. And my personal goal is, one, to always take care of my mental health. That's number one. That is it. Number two, I am looking to, I have a mentor, Bashir, who said to me, DaJuan, I want you to have more control over your career. Yeah. I want to take you in, and all the ideas that you have, you want to write or want to put into a script form, you know, we're going to start working on something like that. So that's really what's next for me is, you know, writing a little bit more so that I can just shift gears. I've always wanted to direct. I want to direct more stuff, and I want to go into a different space. And so, you know, acting will always be my number one passion. I shouldn't say that. It might not be. I might shift into another season of my life. It might be directing. It might be writing. Absolutely. It might be. I need to stay open to that. Look at that right here on your thing. I just had a transformation.
You said it. Yes. Yes. He spoke it, y'all. Universe. Yeah. You heard that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it is confirmed. You are expanding. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're here to do, is to expand as people living in this time-space reality that we call the human experience. Mm-hmm. And so you have done it well, my friend.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you and I have been graced with the presence of the one and only DaJuan Johnson. Stick around for a little bit, DaJuan, afterwards, so we can go over some final details with you. Here's what I want you guys to do. Make sure that you are sticking in with us at brownstoneworldwide.com. We also have Cityscape Radio, which you see behind me. Are you listening at cityscaperadio.com? Did you download it and listen on the app? Did you do that? Oh, there's more. Wait a minute. We also have officially the Founders Circle, which is a part of Brownstone Worldwide. You got a business that you're looking to build some credibility with and do some fun things with. Most definitely give us a hit, a holler, or whatever at the Founders Circle at brownstoneworldwide.com. We're definitely excited to give you more information about that in the next coming episodes of the Lunch and Learn Hour. But it's a great way as business owners and coaches and so forth to help build their brand credibility and to be a part of a growing community of people that are already a part of the Founders Circle. So just wanted to put that in there before we wrap. You guys, is there anything else, DaJuan, that you want to say to our audience?
I do. Paulette, can you sing us out, please?
You know, I can't believe, did you really, like, what do you want to hear? Let's
just sing us out. Can you take us out, Paulette? Take us out as we go.
I
just make it up, make a jingle. Thank you for being on the Brownstone.
You know, oh my!
Hey, you all, I do this for y'all. I did this for y'all. You don't have to sing a real song, just a little ditty. I know you make up stuff all the time. You call me and you're like, "Hello." This is what y'all. This is the calls I get, and the things she's like, "It's Paulette." So I got it recorded. Don't say it. I got it recorded.
That is true. You do. So I will sing that one. It was a little ditty that it's actually one of my most favorite songs by Anita Baker. How does it go? Ooh, and then I'll say my favorite phrase at the end. Oh, you can count on me for anything you choose. Say, but the best that I can offer is love true. Still, I know you wonder why this love of mine seems to have died, as if I live in the clouds and you live in the sea. That's all you're getting out of me.
You're
guys.
welcome, everybody. Have a great night. You're welcome.
We will see you around on the next issue and episode of the Lunch and Learn Hour, Brownstone's Best Business Review. We'll see you around. Take care, everybody. Have a great night.